push play on that. So I started thinking about how can I really add value to my members. As United Resilience community is amazing, right? But it was lacking true benefits for my end user, the members of in the community. I felt, right? I felt like I was limited on what I could offer. And by making a few slight changes and really incorporating both worlds, I'm able to, and maybe that was just in my head. I don't know, who knows, but either way, it put me on this journey of what's my mission? What's my purpose for this community? So I come to realize that if I was going to make any type of offers for this community, besides the networking, which is amazing, and giving the updates on the community impact projects, also amazing, what other value can I give? And everything that I train on is leadership development and all of these things, right? So what I come to realize is that I want to change the name of the community, the mission and vision of the community. I'm just going to read it to you. I mean, it doesn't have to be. Actually, am I sharing my screen?
Nope.
I'll share my screen too. Why not? All right. So this is the name. That's not spelled right.
Here we go.
That's so funny. That's hilarious. Where is this at? I just happened to look up. Okay, that's better.
There we go. I'm glad I'm not the only person who forgets to let's check and make sure all the spelling's correct.
Yeah.
I know what I told my fingers, but they don't always listen.
Yeah. So I landed on the Thrive Circle. And it's super simple. It's not glamorous or whatever, but I really liked that it really set with the mission that I'm trying to do. And I really like saying, come meet me in the Thrive Circle. I'll see you in the circle.
Yeah.
It just seems cool. And I can see when we get together for in-person groups, us getting together in circles, you know, whether it's a big circle or many little circles. And so I can say, see you in the circle, right? So I liked that. It was trendy in that way. But
there's a lot of symbolism, especially woman symbolism around circles. So there's that benefit as well.
Yes. And when I think about United Resiliency, I believe in unity and I believe in resiliency. But at the end of the day, both of those are just, the thriving part is the end result that we're all looking for. Resilience helps us to thrive. Unity helps us to thrive. So I feel like the Thrive Circle fits more and would be a little bit easier for people to kind of comprehend what we're about. United Resiliency community it's like, okay, I get it, but I just didn't feel like it really was clear.
Yeah, no, yes. Resilience is a process, whereas thriving is an end result.
Right.
So no, and it feels really user friendly. I did see it in the link you shared, and I thought, yeah, I really like that.
Good. So good. Yeah. And I contemplated giving the community a say in the name, but then I was like, well, I'm just going to make that executive decision because no one's really showed up for me except for you. I've shown two people, told two people about the name change, you and one other. But honestly, I only told the other person, which was the woman that originally suggested that I create a community. I only told her because she was wanting to invite me to invite her new community to the event. And I told her, I said, I can do that in the future. I said, but we're making some changes and I appreciate you thinking of me. Here's some, just a FYI, here's some of the changes that are going to be announced this evening. But she herself didn't even show up. Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, not mad. I'm not mad. It's just, it just twinged a little bit. Anyways, it fits better. And then the mission and vision to empower individuals to thrive personally and professionally through a transformative and inclusive journey, fostering unity and support. It's simple. You know, we're here to help each other grow in whatever stage of life they're in. If they're a stay-at-home mom, we can support them. If I give a training on setting goals, that relates to them and the next person, right? And then as far as professionals go, United Resiliency in the way that I was presenting it before was not drawing in the attention. It was not appealing to a business owner. Here, I can actually broaden it and it would be inviting for a business owner, because I'm going to offer eventually, as I get more buy-in, because I'm not going to spin my wheels for nothing, not for the community that I have today, right? But as I start to put myself out there and I start to get more and more of an audience that's, you know, excited about topics like this, in a community like this, then I'll offer this. But I was thinking, I started the podcast. I don't want to invite all of my podcast guests to do this, but as I really connect with some of my podcast guests, I can have them come into the community and give a training. That training can then go into the community library, and every month a new one is added. If I don't have a guest, then I'm going to present the training. It's making me accountable to put content out there, and it'll be topics that the normal Joe Schmo and the business owner would want to have, right? And it'll be valuable information. After a year, I'll have 12 videos in there, plus the workshops, plus the templates and things that I'm putting together that will also add value. So, and not that I'm putting this on the back burner, but put slightly less emphasis on the cause, right? The cause is not the forefront of this community, although through the community's the membership fees, the cause is supported, right? So it's kind of like a bonus, but it's not the main focus. And because I didn't know what I was going to be doing professionally, offering consulting services to business owners, and because I've been running from that, thinking, you know, I don't want to do the same thing I do in corporate America kind of thing. And I finally would realize, well, I can do the same thing and be confident in it and have fun with it and it not be the same thing. So I finally,
and you know something, you can do that, but do it the way the way your heart wants it done.
Exactly. And that's what I realized. And it took me 2.5 years of running from that, because I've had, you know, Jackie Cote tell me and others tell me that this is what you're really good at. You should, just because I'm really good at it doesn't mean I'm passionate. But once I started doing it, my confidence was, it's crazy. It just flows out of me so easily because that's what I'm good at, right?
Yeah.
It just makes it a little bit easier. And then when I was able, then I struggled with, well, how do I make it fun? This is really dry. I don't like this any more than anybody else does. And then I started looking at Instagram and I was like, oh, I can have fun with this. I can have fun with this. And honestly, your videos inspired me. The work that you've been doing has inspired me.
Oh, wow.
And
thank you.
I pay attention. I know I haven't had a lot of time, but I pay attention. And I decided to have some fun with it. So I put a little bit out there but I have a lot that I've been kind of saving up, like busting at the seams to kind of put out there, because I wanted to have a little bit more. I wanted to launch a little bit of everything at the same time and have enough content that would last me a couple of weeks so that I can refresh and start a new batch, if you will. But yeah, I've been having fun. I've got, so you saw the one with the chicken, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I know I'm getting off topic a little bit, but it's the same thing.
No.
But I've recorded several. I've got one where I'm sitting in the car and I'm jamming to music with the window up, and all of a sudden I start looking around and I go like this and I roll the window down, I wave, and I stumble out of the car and I run up to the camera. I've got another one where I'm just casually walking around the side of my house and I don't, I'm not paying any attention. And all of a sudden I act like I notice somebody there and I come running. I want to create one where I'm laying or sitting on the couch with pajamas on. I got to go get me some really cool, like matching top and bottom pajamas.
You've got to have respectful pajamas. I can relate to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And have a bowl of popcorn where I'm just kind of eating. And then all of a sudden I start looking around and I'm like, oh, and I spill the popcorn and I put it in slow motion. And I run up to the camera. So all of them will be weird shots like that. And eventually I won't be at home anymore. Eventually I'll be out in the world doing the same thing at the ice cream parlor and at the beach, or
but you
the grocery
start
store
where you're comfortable, and then just move out of your slowly move into your discomfort zone.
I told my husband, I said, I'm going to start traveling with my tripod and I just want to let you know that.
Yeah.
He's like, okay.
You've been forewarned. If you are going to be embarrassed, go someplace else.
Right. And if I'm doing a training or the podcast, I'm trying to incorporate something. If I'm recording it and I'm like, wait a minute, that's too dry. I'm like, how can I just throw in something, even if it's just off the wall, just to say, for them to go, oh my God, did she just really say that? And shake their head at me and laugh at me, right? Because standard operating procedures are dry. But they're necessary.
Yeah.
And sensitive data, protecting sensitive data, all the things that is in here that I can help is are the topics I want to have fun with, right? So anyways, that community, as I continue to grow and in that space to offer tips, tricks, consulting, whatever, I want them to be drawn into this community as well.
Yeah.
So focusing a little bit less on the cause, although that's a bonus because I intend to take the proceeds from the membership, a percentage of that, towards the work that I do outside of the community, and keep them separate but connected to a degree.
Can you maybe put on the back burner, just kind of let it cogitate in your brain about how you can encourage the people who join the community to use their skills and their passions to help your cause as a way to help them develop skills and experience in doing that? Because so that's where the two meet, is like, yeah, you want to learn how to do this. Well, one of the ways of learning how to do this is to do it for this, because the criteria is
and I think as it grows and develop, we can do I can do that. Another thing that I was thinking of was, for those that are really passionate about my community work, mental health, and with youth, I can develop out of that group a small committee where they can help me with that, right? So out of that group will come, this is the group, right? Big group. And then the smaller group will kind of naturally gravitate to that, and they might live in both worlds. But right now, with you and the others that have come, I've got a nonprofit. She's doing her own thing. I'm not even hating on her. She's doing her own thing. I've got another woman that, she told me multiple times she's going to show up. She's not shown up.
Yeah.
Not even mad at her. But then there's others that I know only join the group just to be polite. They don't have any passion one way or the other. They'll probably never show up, and that's okay. I know that, and I tried to continue to start it regardless of that because of trying to save face. Right now, I'm not at that point. Now I'm like, I really feel like this is still something I want to gravitate to and do, but with a new face, a little bit. Still same concept, just slightly different. And we're still so early on.
Yeah.
That
it's not going to make a difference.
It's not going to be, nobody's going to notice.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think this will be good. I think the fact that all the things that I'm doing with Instagram, I'm repurposing those videos for YouTube Shorts. So it'll go on Instagram and YouTube Shorts. I'm still working in LinkedIn, but I'm not, it's cool, but it's not for me right now. I'm not putting a lot of effort into that community. And I'm trying not to put a whole lot of effort into Facebook either, honestly, even though I still put content there, because it's so overly saturated. And I don't think that that's where I'm going to get my true audience. I think I need to focus on Instagram and focus on Instagram, but use the Instagram stuff to share on Facebook so that it's already covered, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Focus on
so Instagram first, and then Facebook,
and everything else just kind
LinkedIn.
of flows over.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, one of the benefits of Facebook is, number one, the group thing.
Yes.
So if you encourage people to, if they're already on Facebook, to join the group, and then there's the messenger aspect, is just like, this is the community. Everybody belongs to this messenger group, so that when I put something out, I know everybody, it's going to reach everybody.
Yep. And I think you might have seen the note. I'm going to pause the community for now.
Yeah.
Until some substantial individuals start joining. And I have somebody as a backup to kind of be an admin for the group and help develop ongoing content for that, because I'm working on creating my processes and getting to a point where I can pass the baton a little bit on some of my processes. And that's one of them. I'm just not passionate. I'm not passionate about it, and I'm not the right person to do it. And I understand that. So I see the value in groups, but I'm just not there yet.
Yeah. And the group will happen when somebody says, guess what? We need a group now.
Yes.
And that might come from you, and it might come from somebody else.
Exactly.
But right now, your time and your energy is, it's like somebody's taken a splatter gun and just gone.
Yeah.
So you need to, so the time that you spend doing this has to be condensed, and it has to be impactful.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So that's why strategy and laser focused is what you need to be doing.
Yep. And that's why I made the change here. Knowing that I'm actually excited that I'm able to offer this to my audience, because whether they start working with me, and this will help build that trust with them before they start working with me, right?
Yeah.
And I'm only going to offer it for $12 a month. Have you ever heard of you've heard of Liz Wilcox, right?
No.
Email marketing. She makes, I want to say, $9,000 a month. She's got a membership community, $9 a month. Yeah. Email marketing. And it's funny. She's hilarious. She puts 80s sweatbands on and has 80s look, and her website, her community website, looks like it's all the flashy colors from the 80s, and you've got cassette tape looks and stuff like that. It's fun, and it's email marketing, and she's got templates, right? And so that was another thing. It's like, I don't want to offer just SOP templates to my community That's boring. Well, she offers email templates to her community, and that's boring. But she puts a video with every single template she does, educates her audience on why, the purpose of that email, and the skeleton of that, the makeup of that email, which pieces are most important, and helps them to develop it out. They're very short videos, but then I was like, well, if I create a template that's really dry, like an SOP, I can do the exact same thing. And so as I continue to develop my video library, I'm also going to be developing template libraries, right? Templates and checklists and all of the things. And so it'll become very robust over time. And so I'm really excited to be able to package it this way. And so the $12, I'm like, $12, anybody can do $12. You know, and it'll come. It'll come. I literally, I will say that I was in my feelings and I was ready. I wasn't going to post anything, but I was working through my feelings by writing like a fake post. And as I'm doing that, I'm working through, you know, but I was a little upset for a minute. I was just like, because there are a few friends of mine where I have thought I show up for them and they never show up for me. I was really disappointed when I did my TEDx and I had to go by myself. I was really I'm really upset to kind of realize that some of my very best friends have not even read one chapter of my book.
Oh, wow.
So moments like that kind of remind me of that. And so it comes up and obviously I'm getting emotional about it. So I still love them and I know that they love me, but it really makes you put things into perspective a little bit. So
one of the things that you might consider doing if you're going to invite them again is to be specific and say, I need you to, and give them a chore to do, give them something, the reason for them to show up at this location at this time for you. Because I think
they showed up to the book launch. You know, but they've not, again, I mean, I don't even know if they've even read the introduction or the forward in the book. I'm like, do you really? They don't know everything that's in that book. So they think that they already know the story because they're my friends. Maybe, or maybe they're just whatever. But I don't, it's just a little, it's like, meh, you know? But then again, I think I was like, a lot of times when you're taking this kind of route, you kind of end up taking it solo and then you end up finding your circle, right? So I guess I've got amazing friends, but at the same time, some of them are really busy doing their own thing, right? And I have to realize that. Like I've got a friend who's a realtor and I've been her customer 3 times now. I can't just necessarily go to one of her realtor events or anything like that, but I show up for her in other ways. And I don't expect her to show up every single time. I don't know. She's like I said, it every person is different, but it collectively it just puts things in perspective sometimes, and it hurts a little bit.
Well, the other thing is that recognizing that this might not be something that they can get passionate about.
And I'm okay with that.
You've got a whole world to look for people who can be passionate about this.
Exactly.
That's the lovely thing about Zoom, is like you can start picking from the world and, finding that 1% elite.
And I have to remind myself that it's I'm just now, even though I've put things out there, I've said, oh, I'll do sizzle reels and different things like that. It was me trying to put my toes out there and see if that would bite, if somebody would bite, right? Just to
Yeah.
try to generate income to put back into my cause. But I wasn't really taking it serious like a true business. I called it a business, but I wasn't really passionate about it because I was saying, I just want side money for my community work. I just want to put some money back in the community work, which is still true. But now I'm more committed, if you will, with making this my full-time work. And I can see it vividly now, whereas I was just grasping before. And they all still relate. I will still absolutely, maybe not sizzle reels, but my creative side and things like that will come out in helping guide business owners through helping them develop onboarding training and, curriculum development for whether it's for their clients or their associates. And I'm already doing this work with one other person. We're horse trading. And in horse trading, I realized there was aspects that I didn't want to do, but I was like, I'll do it for a time to build, hence the SOPs, to build up my templates. But after that, I'm not going to continue to create these. I'm going to create the ones that are important, create the library for it, and move on, because they're not fun, but they're necessary. I can educate my audience on them and guide them in the right direction without doing all the work for them. And that's
exactly.
And that's what I need to focus on.
And that's something that you can think about doing down the road, is hiring somebody else to do that kind of work.
Right.
This is, this is my list of things that I don't want to do. I will do this when I absolutely have to. People will either pay for the nose or accept the fact that I'm not going to do it.
Exactly.
Or I will find somebody who will do it with us.
Exactly. And there are only but so many SOPs in the world, right? It's especially the big ones. And we're talking about, you can create a SOP for a process that's different than the policies that are going to protect your business, right? So if you're thinking about a process, top to bottom and all the steps, that's different. But I'm talking about like the SOPs, like the sensitive data SOP or HR policies or a legal policy. I don't know. You get what I'm saying?
Well, the other thing is, we're living in a niche world now. People need this specific information at this time, and if you're the person who can deliver it, and people know that you're the person to deliver it, they're going to go to you.
Exactly. So
find your passion and figure out how to market that and sell it.
Yep. And that's what I'm doing. It's going to be operations and delegation, basically. I'm calling it the podcast Hire Wise, because hiring wise, you can that's either delegating to a employee or delegating to a contractor. You still have to make sure that you go about those tasks wisely. There's so many business owners that are not going into that space and with a lot of thought behind it, right? They're just throwing something out there. Some of them have never even led a team before, and that's fine. You grow, you don't know until you try it, right? You go those skills later, but just because you've never led a team before doesn't mean that you're not a leader. But there are definitely some things that they need to educate themselves on and consider when they're going through that process. And I don't want that will not be my only focus. It's going to be it'll be from operations to helping them develop that hiring plan, right? And onboarding and training. And that's where I end. That's where my guests and those people that I'm developing partnerships with will help fill in all the blanks. Accounting, human resources, legal, all of those things, the things that I don't know. And then from there, even broader than that, leadership development, remote engagement, all of the topics that I'm not the expert in, right? and together we can make a really good, yeah, add value to the community. And that's why, you know, the Q&A/training sessions are going to be so important when I do decide to launch those.
Mhm.
And
So how are you spelling wise?
WISE.
Okay, because my brain went straight to WHYS.
Oh yeah.
You
But
might
yeah,
want to play with that. There's
yeah,
hiring high
I've
wise.
already all of
You've already
the
played.
branding's already out. I'm fine with it being higher wise.
Well, but you can still play with it in terms of your marketing. It's like
Yeah.
sometimes it's like, why are you feeling the need to hire? Why are
Oh,
you
I
choosing
see.
it
Okay, I
this way?
see.
So
Like,
you can do
oh,
the
I see what you're saying. The hiring. Yeah, yeah. Where you can still say it's the wise,
yeah.
but you're being wise.
Yes,
Gotcha. I do
exactly.
like that.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not something that's just going
If
to
I
flow out
ever,
of your mouth naturally, but having that why are you doing it component, because you got to start with why. That's why Simon Sinek made that book. It's like you've got to
yeah,
start with why are you choosing to do this, because that's going to dictate
exactly. That's actually
what.
where I start at, really. I
Yeah,
start out by mapping out their processes
yeah,
and then diving into, well, what's your magic wand wish list? What are the things that you want your associate to this person to do? And now it's like, okay, what's more realistic? Not just realistic in the fact that they can't do it all, but what are they realistically going to be able to access? Do you have VPN? I doubt it. I doubt that you have the budget to invest
uh-huh,
in a VPN system. So how are you going to even share access to this? And does that system have sensitive data? You know, so narrowing down from the magic wand wish list down to the tasks that are more feasible and realistic, and then taking them through, okay, these are the tasks. Now what skills are associated with those tasks that you're looking for, so that they can then go out and start preparing for the recruiting process, right?
mm-hmm.
And the interviewing process and the onboarding process, and making sure that they have those training materials, those training, um, to help them to be successful in what you're asking them to do. So
Yeah,
everything in between is where I come in. I don't try to get into the legality pieces of it. That's where I tap my business partners on the shoulder to say, hey, I've got a client that needs, I
yeah,
think that they need support in this area,
yeah,
and figure out what that partnership looks like,
mm-hmm.
and having them come on a QA session. If I'm not doing a training session, I can say, I've got a lawyer
Mm-hmm.
coming online. You better
Mm-hmm.
come with all your legal questions
Yeah,
and pick her brain.
yeah.
It's basically your free session. You better show up, kind of
Well,
thing.
and you can get those partners again. You've got them. Yeah, you wanted to help have them do some training, so that's something that you can
Exactly.
do too. Is say, sponsored by Kathy James.
Exactly.
That we're going to do this training, and you can pay them or do a split or something.
Exactly.
And
There's all
it's just
kinds of
like
ways that we could go about it. Right.
yeah,
Oh,
but yeah,
so
having
another
and
thing
again
is, go ahead.
having that in your library again, that you
Exactly.
can say, I've got this training, it's this much to attend it live, but I will be in the library so you can watch it for this amount of dollars.
Right. And sometimes they'll be for a discount to, sometimes they'll be for free to the members.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it'll be discounted for the members.
Yeah.
But anybody that's not a member can also join some of those cohorts, right? And they
Yep.
pay the full fee, but then they are interacting with the community and want to become a part of the community. So
Exactly.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah, yeah. And that's
Yeah. So there's
exactly why I kind of reframed and restructured this so that I could do both.
yeah.
And as you can see, I'm a lot more excited about it. I
Well, like
just
I said,
felt rushed before, and I should have just said pause.
yeah.
But I was also hopeful that it would pan out,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
it has, just 3 months
Yep.
later.
Yeah. Well, You've done a lot over the last couple years, so you're entitled to say, okay, yep, need to stop.
Yep.
Look where I'm at.
Yep.
Look where I want to be.
Yep.
And then regroup and plan accordingly. So you can do the same process for yourself as you were wanting to do with your clients.
Exactly. And that's what I've been doing.
Yeah. So one of the suggestions that I will make for you is to examine that process and then figure out what am I going to call this process? You can create an acronym, or do something that is going to say that this is the Kathy James wise hire process, and maybe you can do something with the wise hire something in there for your acronym.
So I've been developing it all out. So I have my main outcomes, the steps that will take that the steps that I'll take to get them there, and then the even more refined steps, maybe a little bit more detail. And what I've got to do now is go back and kind of put a time frame to it. It's like, okay, well, how long would this process take with my client? The mapping process, it is a 2-hour, and if I'm gonna help do an analysis of their processes and give them and look for the gaps, and then give my recommendations, how long does that take? And what pieces do I want to do for them versus teaching them and empowering them and giving them homework to do? Right. So now I'm going through that and trying to put a time frame to it so that I can figure out if my signature program is going to be a month, 3 months, 6 months, and then put a cost to it. So I'm working through that process. The woman that I've talked about where we're trading services, she's a coach and she's helping me with this a little bit. But I've also been taking some trainings that I found on Udemy. I get access to Udemy for free at work. And it's use it or lose it. They're about to change providers. And so I've found an amazing training on creating your signature program. And it was like perfect timing. So it's helping me in those aspects. But it was cool though, because I started the process on my own before I even knew the training was there. And it was aligning with what I was already doing.
Oh, good. So your instincts are good.
It confirmed I was on the right path.
Good.
Yeah. So we've created an avatar, but I think we need to tweak it a little bit because and then out of that, we're also creating some marketing aspects for it as well. So while we're developing the package, that's cool, but what's leading up to that? What's my email marketing look like? What does my lead magnet look like? And especially now that I'm about to start launching all of my Instagram and my podcast next week, I need something to be able to offer to them, right? And so she and I are going to get together tomorrow, and that's going to be my ask. It's like I got to figure that out. I have ideas, but I need something to offer.
What problem do you think that you can
Pebbles,
fix?
little crumbs.
What problem do you think you can fix with a lead magnet?
There's so many problems.
Now, what's the one that you think that would be the most pressing for people that your right fit clients? Not the whole enchilada, just one little problem.
So if I stick to the hiring theme, I could create some sort of robust checklist. That's boring though.
Doesn't have to be boring. The checklist itself, the items might be boring, but you can sass it up.
So, and then I did create a 3-minute method trifecta is what I called it. It's a mouthful. It's a 3x3 is what I think it is. It's a 3-minute, 3-step process that business owners can use to start documenting their processes, their procedures.
Yeah.
3 minutes.
The
Set a
3-minute
timer,
matrix.
3 minutes. Huh?
3-minute matrix.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you could call it, the 3-minute matrix, and this is the problem it solves.
Oh my gosh, I just realized I was talking about putting videos with my SOPs. I can put a video with this.
Yep.
So I'll put a video together describing it,
Yeah.
and then give them the instructions, which I already have put together. And then it comes with a template that they can use, a PDF where they can create their own. So I just need to create a video with it, and I can call it a mini training.
Yep.
And template combo.
Well, you don't have to call it a mini anything. You can just, it's well, a training. It's a training. The fact that it's short and sweet and effective, that's a bonus. So don't minimize it. Don't diminish it by calling it mini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's short minute, maximum impact. That's what it is. It's your maximum impact training.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can actually show them. And I can actually screen record if I want to stage some stuff, and actually screen record.
Yep.
And show myself going through the same process.
Yep. And don't forget to brand the crap out of it so that everything that you show has a way of getting connected with you. So whether it's your website or your email or something, it's just and then don't forget your calls to action.
I'll show
if you've got any questions.
Am I still sharing my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Let me no. Let me go to my Canva. No, is it? Okay. I'm actually going to pull it up. I actually think I have it. Mm. Mm. Aha, I do have it here. Oh, it's not fun. I don't have, never mind. I'll pull it up on Canva.
I love Canva.
I do too. I'm in here all the time. But it's amazing.
I never use it on my computer. I always use it on my iPad, but yeah.
Really? Oh yeah. Yeah. All right. 3-minute method template. And then I gotta go because I'm supposed to be helping my husband put our pool together.
Yeah. Jeopardy's almost on.
I appreciate you.
Well, happy to help.
Yeah. Oh, it's been slow. It's almost there, I think. Okay. All right. So one more second, because I want to wait to be able to preview it up here. This is cool. The way that they allow you to create these. And what I've done is I created myself an actual, this is the template.
Yep.
But for this in particular, but I've also created an actual document template so that I can use the same look.
Yep.
And then the body of it is what changes.
Yeah, I just used the duplicate feature, but it's the same principle. It's just like, why you spent this time and energy creating something you love? Why not use it again?
Yeah, I'm going to download it as a PDF real quick because I think it looks better that way. All right. All right. So yeah, so this is how, I mean, the title will change. It gives a few little steps. It gives an example. It gives all of my context stuff.
Yeah, you.
And then there's the, if they want to use this as a template, they can use it, or they can create their own Excel spreadsheet with it, or Word document or something, but they can use this if they want to.
Well, and some people, I like to start with pen and paper.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I don't, Excel and I or spreadsheets and I aren't big friends yet. I've still got to learn how to use them properly. But pen and paper, yeah.
Right.
I just, yeah. So meeting everybody's priorities is a good thing.
Yes. And so with, with the whole concept is, the process number can be either the step, or what was it? Oh God, it was either the step or forget what what other alternative I was using it. Anyways, it's just a number, right? So that you can keep track. The method, what you're doing, where it's located. How many of us are like, oh, where do I find that? Why it's important is, if you're giving that process over to somebody, they have access to the link immediately without having to ask you, right? And then how long did it take? Obviously, this shows just 1 minute because it was just literally logging in as the example. I probably should give a different example so that it's longer than 1 minute, but still, the concept is to be able to track your time spent so that you know how long you need to set your deadlines for, how long a particular process might take, all of the things. So 3 minutes, write down as much as you can in 3 minutes. If you have more time, great. If not, just cut it off and come back to it. You'd be amazed at how much you can do in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to a process like this, where you're just documenting what you do. And from there, you can take that and make it pretty, right? Or just knowing your process, you're able to go back and see, how can I make that better?
Yeah.
And I did that to myself. I was documenting my podcast processes, and it was a newer process, right? But it's still, I was documenting everything, and I looked back and I was like, how can I make that better? And I was like, I wonder if I can, because I had put in there, add my podcast guests into my email PMS, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to have to manually put those in. And if I pass this on to somebody else, maybe they don't have access to that. So how can I automate that? So I had just started using Zapier. So I went into Zapier and looked. I was using a Microsoft form because I have a Microsoft 365 suite. But Zapier doesn't connect with Microsoft Office forms, but they do connect to Google Forms. So I said, well, that's an easy switch. Just recreate it in Google Forms and I can automate it. Done.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal. I'm not hemming and hawing over which application I'm putting my form in.
Yeah.
So if they fill out a form to be an applicant or a guest on the podcast, they automatically get it and added into my MailChimp account with a tag, because I've made that one little change, and they automatically get an email.
Yeah.
So now I also wanted to automate where they can, when they log in, when they schedule with Calendly, but that would mean I had to upgrade my Calendly. I'm still using the free account.
Yeah.
I can't automate that piece until I upgrade.
Yep.
But eventually I won't. I think I'm going to do high level eventually. Do you know what I'm talking about? The Go High
Yeah, Go
Level?
High Level is a process. Yeah, I've heard it talked
I,
about. It's not something,
yeah,
but
I've
yeah, probably.
gone down the line of comparing everything and said it's too damn good of a deal if it does everything that like this and that I'm
Yeah,
already wanting and gives me all of the other things too.
yeah,
And one thing that I'm struggling with the social media, the Instagram stuff is Canva, even though I love it, does not allow me to schedule my Instagram reels.
oh,
Only images.
yeah,
So if I want to post reels, which is exactly what I want to do most of the time, some of them
mm-hmm.
are not. Oh, and here's another thing. If I want to do a carousel,
Uh-huh,
it only schedules one
yeah,
image at a time. So it's
yeah,
limited. So I've been
yeah,
checking into Go High Level, and they do a social media. They have a social media calendar and creator inside it, and it allows you to schedule your videos and reels.
yeah. So you
So
can still
I've got
create them in
a
Canva and then just put them into Go High Level.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And the thing is too, is that once you've done them, you do know that you get to repeat those
Yep,
reels and things on a regular
yep,
basis.
yep,
So yeah, so you can not only schedule them once, you can schedule them for the whole freaking year or for 2 years or
exactly.
forever if you want. So
Like
yeah.
every other month or every yeah,
Well,
exactly.
well, think about your business as in quarterly.
Yeah,
Like if you repeat something every 12 weeks, it's not going to overwhelm and people are going to say, oh, I've already saw that one. It might be, oh, I
you're
remember
right.
seeing that one.
Yeah,
It's so great. So if you think about doing everything so that it can be shown 4 times a year, it could be the
yeah.
same email that you send out to promote 4 times a year.
I never thought of it that way. So I've got. Do you know about the bulk create in Canva?
Yeah, I do.
I did not. It's like a game changer.
Oh yeah. Except that I'm really, really fussy. I'd rather do, like I said, I'd rather do, and it's one of those chores I like doing. So I
Yeah.
probably won't go bulk, but I can see people using it.
So it's not. It's basically the way I see it is when it comes to like where I want to, for instance, I have a theme for every day now on Instagram.
Hmm.
That way I could plan ahead. Now there's going to be some spontaneous stuff too,
Oh yeah,
but
don't give that up.
no, no.
But
Um,
don't do it all the time either.
right, exactly. So Mondays would be like a mastery Monday,
Uh-huh.
something new that you're going to learn or something like that. And they're
Hmm.
all going to be new, right? But I've created a template for that, right? And
Yep.
actually, and so
And
I'll just put it in a
something you might want to think about do is thinking about you've got your Monday themes, but you can have a week theme as well. So maybe it's
yes,
mastering, but mastering
those will
this.
be the ones that I won't plan all the time. I can change based on what's relevant,
Yeah,
what's coming up, and different things like that.
yeah,
So it'll be kind of in addition to
yeah,
what I'm already scheduled, right?
yeah.
But yeah, so there's a few
Okay, so yeah,
templates.
yeah. So you don't use a lot of images, so that makes it a lot easier to do the bulk thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then I also have a Tech Thursdays that is cool, but it'll vary. One day I'll
Hmm.
do a video where
Hmm.
I'm giving the tip, and then other days I'll use the template to create bulk.
Yeah,
The thing with this one is there are images. So once I create it, I just have to switch out the image to
yeah.
match the technology I'm using. So in between and to lighten my load for having to create a bunch of video, if I get behind, I can rely on this.
Yeah. And again, plan on doing evergreen so that you can rotate it and plan on rotating it on a regular basis.
Yep. Yep.
And then you
Every
can just,
day
yeah,
has a template to it now,
yeah,
except for Fridays. Well, I guess it does. Fridays is going to be feature Fridays.
yeah.
Most of the time, it's going to be featuring the latest episode of the podcast.
So those will have to be
a,
changed on
huh?
those will have to be changed on a regular basis anyway, because you're going to be doing podcasts regularly.
Exactly. So I
Yeah.
already I have the podcast image that I would share on social media anyways,
Yeah.
that I will use to create that.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that being
Mhm.
a new something that's not
Yeah.
done in bulk.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's
So
just a new thing to work
Fridays are the
on.
only thing that I'm not doing in bulk. All the other days I'm doing in bulk. Even the ones that I'm doing videos, I'm doing like pro tip Wednesdays. Those
Mhm.
are, I've got 3 more of 10 to do.
Mhm.
And I'm not doing them in bulk as far as in Canva, but I'm still preparing them in advance. And then the other videos that I was talking about earlier with the popcorn and, peeking
Yeah.
out of the, running after the rooster,
Yeah.
those will be randoms.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'll have some tips over top of that periodically. I'll have, you know, uh, links to different my lead magnets and things like that in there as well. So
Yeah.
I'll have a little bit of uniform, if you will, pre-planned and then spontaneous to mix it up and not make it so
It's like having a skeleton and
cutter.
you just decorate it every now and then.
Exactly. Exactly. Let my quirkiness shine.
Yep, exactly. That's
So
part of your personality.
yeah, it's
So
fun
anyway,
and it'll draw people to me, I think.
yeah. Anyway, I've got more training on the podcasting thing tomorrow,
Okay.
and
Oh
we'll
yeah, we
hop
didn't
on a
even talk
call.
about that. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay, because like I said, there's more to come, and I'm seeing more value that I can give to you about your podcasts. So it'll
Cool.
make more sense when I've got all the training under my belt, and then have taken time to process the information so that I can pass it over to you.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate
Yes.
it. I think my husband's outside now. I can hear
Yeah.
the drill going.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And so we'll talk soon.
Yes. I'll talk
Okay.
to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.